Hello, and welcome to Other Worlds. Today we're talking about Star Wars. If you like what you see, please give us a like and consider subscribing. Let's get straight into it. Will we see Omega in the Book of Boba Fett, or any of the other live-action shows for that matter? Here are a couple of reasons why I think this is likely. First, Boba and Omega have a connection. They are both unaltered clones of Jango Fett, the only difference being the mutation that made Omega female. This was confirmed in episode 9 of The Bad Batch, when Tech said the Kaminoans created 2 unaltered clones.
I further analyzed Omega's genetic profile and discovered she has pure, first-generation DNA. All clones were created from a host named Jango Fett. While our genetic structure was modified for growth acceleration and obedience, Omega is a pure genetic replication.
How many clones like that exist?
To my knowledge, there's only one other. A male clone, codenamed Alpha, later referred to as Boba.
Alpha is Boba Fett. We already know his story from Attack of the Clones. The Kaminoan created Boba at the request of Jango. Normal soldiers were altered to grow twice as fast so that they would be ready to fight at a younger age. Their brains were also altered to make them more compliant, better at following orders. But Jango wanted an unaltered clone to raise as a son. Boba was originally called Alpha, something we first learned in The Bad Batch, presumably because he was the first clone of Jango Fett. It's not entirely clear why Omega was created. Perhaps this is something we will find out in the future. But what is clear is that Boba and Omega are essentially siblings, brother and sister. Why is this important? Why does that mean that we're more likely to see her in the Book of Boba Fett? Well, it's because Star Wars, at its core, is about family. If someone asked you to summarize George Lucas's original films in one sentence, you could tell them it's about a father's journey to redeem himself for the sake of his son. The original trilogy is all about the relationship between Luke and Darth Vader. The prequels are all about how Anakin's lack of a family led him into being manipulated down a dark path. He was taken away from his mother at an early age, lost a father figure in Qui-Gon Jinn, and lost his mother for a second time, and so on. Even the Clone Wars is all about brotherhood. George Lucas believed family should be at the heart of Star Wars. He also believed that Star Wars should be hopeful and appealing to children. Family is something that is relatable to almost everyone. It makes Star Wars universal. But George is no longer involved in Star Wars, so why is this relevant? It's relevant because George's disciple Dave Filoni is involved in both The Bad Batch and the Book of Boba Fett. When it comes to storytelling, George and Dave have the same philosophy. When the Book of Boba Fett was announced, I was excited. But I also had no idea how it was going to work as a Star Wars series. The Mandalorian was so universally popular because of the father-son dynamic between Din Djarin and Grogu. Their relationship is relatable no matter what planet you're on. My question for Boba Fett was, what makes him relatable? Now don't get me wrong, I love Boba Fett. He was one of my favourite characters as a child, probably due to the way he looks and the fact he has a jetpack. He was a very mysterious character in the original trilogy. We learned a bit more about him in Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars, then in The Mandalorian we got to see him in action, and I absolutely adored his fight scene in Chapter 14, The Tragedy. But when the Book of Boba Fett was announced, I still wondered whether there was enough substance to justify giving him his own Star Wars series. From the brief teaser at the end of Season 3 of Mandalorian, it seemed the series might focus on Boba's journey to becoming King of the Underworld. Will we see him murdering his way to the top? Is it going to be like The Godfather or Breaking Bad? Now, while that could be entertaining, would it feel authentically Star Wars? Where is the hope for the children that George Lucas always said was so important? Well, I think we have our answer. Omega. Boba's sister, his only surviving family. And up until this point, as far as we are aware, they have never met. Despite sharing much of the same DNA, Boba and Omega are very different. She is curious and kind, because she has been brought up by people who care for her and look out for her, the Bad Batch. By contrast, Boba lost his father at a very young age. He became an angry young man and a ruthless bounty hunter. Can you make an authentic feeling Star Wars series about a ruthless killer? You can if he has a kind-hearted sister who can give him a chance at redemption, and I think that's what's likely to happen. Are there any other clues? Well, that white Mandalorian armor in Sid's office looks very suspicious. Could we be seeing Omega in that sometime in the future? We'll have to wait and see. That's all for now. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like or consider subscribing. May the Force be with you.